Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Breitling Superocean Heritage B20 Automatic 42mm. This watch was kindly lent in by Saltzman's Watches. I'll leave a link in the description to their website and to their Instagram account. If you could go follow them on Instagram, I greatly appreciate it, and I greatly appreciate them sending this over for us to check out. I sent over a few watches over the past couple of years here, so really appreciate their support. This watch is very cool. I've wanted to check one out for a while now. There's the Breitling Superocean, which has just recently been remodeled, but I've always liked this version more than that one. I like more of a vintage style dive watches, probably why I like the Submariner and my Tudor Black Bay 58. We'll compare those in a future video, but let's talk about this watch today. MSRP for this watch is $5,250 on this very awesome mesh bracelet, mesh strap, whatever you want to call it. It's very nice. I'm very impressed with this metal strap. We'll look at that here in a little bit. So what we have here is a sapphire crystal, and it does have blue AR coating. In my unboxing, I was confused as to if this was a black dial or a blue dial, but it is a black dial in the black ceramic bezel insert here, but the dial looks blue due to that blue AR coating. So kind of a neat look. I really like the look of this watch, the styling. Again, the vintage styling. I'm a big fan of that. So you can see it does have applied markers and an applied logo. This is not the winged Breitling logo, obviously. Looks like it might be a little bit out of focus for some reason. All right, there we go. So yeah, just look at that watch. I mean, I think it's a great looking watch. Unfortunately, I need to leave the plastic on, but it is a polished case. Just a really well done watch here. Let's listen to the bezel action. So it's 120 click. It feels fine to me. The lugs do kind of come over the bezel right there, kind of protects it, I guess. Interferes a little bit with using the bezel, but I basically just use them as a fidget toy anyway, so not a big deal for me. And it looks like the loom pip there lines up. Maybe one more click. Let's see. Yeah, it might be off a little bit. But anyway, it's a very nice looking watch. I like the look of dive watches without crown guards. It just looks better to me. Probably another reason why I like, again, the Tudor Black Bay 58. And you can see the date down there at 6 o'clock. And of course it says Swiss made. Let's take a quick look at the case back here. Open the clasp. I've been studying this clasp, trying to figure out how it works. It looks to be a friction clasp. You have this kind of a slot there, and then that seems to interface with this portion right here. So I'm assuming that it presses on that portion of the clasp right there. You kind of see it from the back side here. Right there is that slot again. And there we go. Actually, it looks like it might latch over the rear. I know I've never seen this style before, so very interesting. All right, let's look at the case back. Yeah, again, I'm leaving the sticker on there. So chronometer, I'm assuming that's French, the way that's spelled. Superocean Edition Spéciale. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that word. Starts with an E, ends with an E, and 200 meter water resistance. It's definitely a dive watch. It's nice and thick like a dive watch, and it looks like a dive watch. So yeah. All right. Let's zoom back out here a little bit. So the movement in this watch is the Breitling B20 movement. I'll say it's in-house with air quotes. It's manufactured by Tudor, but I guess it's somehow considered in-house. Maybe not. I think the movement is only used, or the variation of the movement is only used by Breitling. They made a couple changes. One of them is, I think the Tudor uses a silicon hairspring, and this one uses just a ferrous metal. So this one's not as anti-magnetic, or may not be anti-magnetic at all. So there is that. You do get 70 hours of power reserve. It is hand winding, as you would expect. Hacking is cost, so it's accurate to -4, in between -4 to +6 seconds per day. And that 70-hour power reserve is pretty amazing. I'm really used to 40 hours of power reserve, but with these new movements, they're able to get more power reserve out of them. And this is 8 beats per second, as you can probably tell from the smooth sweep right there. So let me know what you guys think of this watch, the styling of this watch. I really like it. It's a little bit thick for my preference, and the lugs are a little bit long, just due to my small wrist, but if you have a larger wrist, I think it's a great watch. They also do offer this in 44 and 46. 42 has been real popular. I think they've been selling them pretty easily, so if you're interested in one, get a hold of Richard on Instagram, or you can call him directly there over there at Saltzman's. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description to the website and to the Instagram account. I think I already mentioned, but it does have a polished case and then a signed screw down crown. Again, it has the B logo there. I've been used to the wing logo, so it's a little weird seeing just the B like that, but I think it looks nice and clean. So let's talk about this bracelet or strap, whatever you want to call it. I was really surprised to see that it has these removable links. It's so well done. It looks like it's actually just a mesh until you bend it, and those links just appear. Yeah, I guess zoomed way in, you can kind of see the split here, but I had no idea that was there. They look like real, or like a mesh. I probably can't demonstrate it here, but you can see through this. If you hold it up to a window or a bright light source, you can see through this portion, and you can't see through those because these are somehow machined, I would guess. I don't know how they did this. I don't know how they machined it to look like a metal mesh bracelet. Very well done. I'm very impressed by this bracelet. And there are the screw heads there, and they're on both sides. I mean, they're on the same side, I should say. Typically screw heads are on the alternating sides, but I would guess these links can't be swapped from side to side. Yeah, that is so neat. Alright, for the rest of the clasp here, it is milled here. This portion looks to be milled as well. Man, what is going on with my camera today? There we go. And it does have 6 micro adjusts, and they're on the inside here. Hopefully you can see those divots there for the spring bar. Right there. Yeah, very nice system here. And you do have the safety clasp. And that is, of course, all polished with my fingerprints. There we go. Nice and shiny. Okay, let's talk about the dimensions, and I'll get this on my wrist. Let's zoom back out here. So lug to lug, as I mentioned, it's a little bit long, 51.5 millimeter. Diameter, 42 millimeter at the bezel, and the case, it's a little bit less than that. I just measured the bezel, and also it's called the 42 millimeter. 14.4 millimeter thick, 22 millimeter lug width, and believe it or not, this bracelet does taper. I don't know how they're able to taper a mesh bracelet. I have no idea how that's done. I tried to figure it out. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. But it tapers from 22 down to 18, so a very nice amount of taper. I really like 20 to 16 or 22 down to 18. That 4 millimeter taper really seems to work well, very well. 6.7 millimeter crown. And I didn't write it in my notes, but from memory, the weight of this with all the links is 172 grams. So let me get this on wrist, and then we'll check out the loom. We'll compare it to the SKX here. I've not looked at the loom yet myself. Fingerprints on the crystal. So it appears to be a fingerprint magnet. So again, I have a 6.5-inch wrist with the 52mm wristband. Not quite sitting on my wrist evenly, I guess. Okay, there we go. Maybe the lugs seem a little big to me. As I said in the unboxing, it almost seems like they curve back in, but I think it just comes out straight and then curves down. But you really can't reduce the lug all that much, because this end link is almost touching the case there. Not sure how they would do that. They'd almost have to undercut the case. So there we go. It is thick, but it does kind of nestle down on the wrist, maybe due to the cone shape of the case back there. So it doesn't look too tall on my wrist. It doesn't look as tall as the measurements would indicate. But I'll show you this side by side with my SKX in a moment here. Okay, let's zoom out. I don't know, what do you think? Too big? Just right? Those links, very impressed with that again. Okay, let's get this off wrist and then we'll look at it next to my SKX here. There it is. So the SKX case is 42.5, but then the bezel I think is 41 or 41.5. So the Breitling actually looks a little bit larger, but they're technically the same size. Lugs are a lot shorter on the SKX though. Alright, I will pause the video and probably have to hold this in hand for the loom portion, as it won't set on the table here. So I'll be right back with the loom. Alright, here's a look at the loom. Breitling, of course, is on the left and the Seiko is on the right. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much loom applied to the Breitling, so you really can't expect much loom out of it. So yeah, the Seiko basically blows it out of the water as far as loom is concerned, but you know, loom's is not that bad considering how small those loom pips are. They're actually pretty bright. I would still say the Seiko is maybe a little bit brighter as far as the loom formula, or maybe about even. So anyway, just a quick look at the loom here. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It really helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. And as always, thank you for your time and thank you for watching my out of focus loom here.